We have this interesting concept in society of that's generally accepted throughout different cultures. There's some exceptions, everywhere you look, but generally we have this accepted idea of that monogamy is the norm in relationships, or that it should be. But I don't think we, step back and said we have conflicting views on things, because we often will tell each other when we see somebody in a new relationship who is full of lust. There's a lot of heat between two people. We always throw up a caution or a warning sign, and we say, well, that isn't love, that's just lust, that's sex, right? That's not love. Love, romance, and sex are different things. But then we also have this idea that just because we love someone and that we have joined them in a partnership or marriage of some kind, that we then expect them to be monogamous. At that point, we tie sex to love. We tie sex to love, even though we know it's not. We also know that each of us, if we look deep inside, probably feel that monogamy is not the best. Monogamy is not the norm in nature. It is the exception. We all have desires and needs. The sexual desire is one of the most powerful desires for humanity. We have a basic survival instinct. We have a sexual need, not only for production, but for energy. And it's very strong. It's like the strong emotions of fear and anger. Those are very strong, but so is love. Sex is a very powerful instinct, a need that we all have. And we've tied love and sex together, which I think is not always the best method for doing things. If you consider that love, true love, is unconditional, you have to look at somebody and say, I love you for more than the color of your skin, or the way you talk, or the way you think. I love you more for the things that you do. Because the things that you do, I generally love, but you piss me off when you squeeze the toothpaste container from the top and not the bottom. Or you don't replace the toilet paper after it's gone. That pisses me off. To truly love somebody unconditionally means you accept them for who they are. And that also means that you accept them for everything that they need in their life. If you think about that's scary. Because if you want your partner to be monogamous with you, and that you also understand that you truly want to love them, or you feel like you love them, that means you have to give them the freedom to be who they want. The freedom for them to sleep and have sex with whoever they want. And that's a real tough one for a lot of people. There's a lot of jealousy with that. What is jealousy? Jealousy is nothing more than insecurity. When you are jealous of something, you are insecure in yourself in some way. If your partner had sex with other people, but would come back to you at the end of the day and love you, embrace you, be the partner that you needed, does it matter what they did? Why is sex any different than sitting down at a coffee shop and having a cup of coffee with someone, or having a conversation over dinner? It's just an activity, an exchange of ideas, an exchange of energy. There is nothing that is any different in that respect. We think it's sacred to protect that idea. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it only makes sense if two people agree that works for them. Ultimately, if you're in a relationship that you feel isn't working, then it's up to you to either come to a compromise with your partner or to leave that relationship, because staying in a relationship for any reason that cuts into your soul will destroy your life. When you're 80 or 90 or 100 and you look back at your life, you don't want to have regret. You want to live your life now as if it will be what you have wanted it to be when you were older and looking back at your life, no matter how tough that is. This is why we all need to look at our relationships and make sure they are healthy and that they are loving, and to really talk with each other about the things that we want. Because a lot of times that we hide from our closest partners, our closest friends, the things that we most deeply desire. To ask our partner for an open relationship of some kind so that we could have sex with other people, spend time with other people, is something that most people would never bring up. Because it's scary, because when you do that, you feel that there's a great chance that you will lose that relationship. So it's a desire or a secret that you have down inside that you don't feel like you can tell. And it leaves you very vulnerable to something that is so sacred, your sexual instinct and need, that when somebody criticizes you based on your sexual preferences is so difficult. Whether you're gay, lesbian, or whether you want to sleep around with whoever, to deny someone's ability to express themselves sexually is a huge crime. Sex is a powerful energy. Some people have said that promiscuity or hypersexuality is a negative effect on you. I don't view it at all like that. I view sex and what it can do for someone as being extremely powerful, so long as you do not let it consume your life. Just like greed can be powerful because it lets you improve. It means you want something more. As long as you don't let greed overcome you, as long as you don't intentionally harm someone out of greed, as long as you don't intentionally harm someone from sex, nothing is inherently good or bad. It's the intent behind it and the reason for it. I think if most people, probably all people, were honest, they've all at some point wanted to have something different in their life, to sleep with other people, whether that's in their head when they're masturbating, or a thought that they're having when they're reading erotica, or they're watching porn, or they sleep with other people, they have an affair, they cheat, they actually do it. All those things are the same. See, we make exceptions for ourselves and we say, well, if you cheat, you have an affair in a relationship, you're a really terrible person. But we never ask the question, why did somebody do that? What did they feel deep inside that they weren't loved, that they weren't wanted? Why did they do that? Why did they feel the need to do that? We should ask those questions, in my opinion, because you can't really judge what somebody else needs when you aren't them and you haven't been in their situation. But from my perspective, enjoying porn, pleasuring yourself through masturbation, enjoying reading erotica, or even having dirty thoughts, it's all the same thing. We desire sex. We need it in our lives. We've just made it dirty because we've said it's dirty. We've made it shameful. And when you make somebody feel shame, you put them in a box. You imprison them. That's slavery of the mind. We need to take a look at those things, like how we enslave each other. Nobody should be enslaved. Nobody should be enslaved to another human. They shouldn't be enslaved to a job. They shouldn't be enslaved to money. Shouldn't be enslaved to an idea. We all want freedom.